Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Thank you guys for hanging out today, helping me wrap up another week. Can't believe we are already two-thirds of the way through June, officially on the summer solstice. So enjoy this beautiful longest day of the year. It is super hot here in Pittsburgh, 93 degrees. It is sunny, it is beautiful, and I am very happy to be with you all. Jump in the chat wherever you're watching. Say hello, we'll give you a shout out. And then officially we get started here at the top of the 4 o'clock hour in about 5 minutes or so. I see Robbie 36, Biden suck stuff, Q-Boys, B Frazier. What's up, all of you guys hanging out on D Live? Good to see you. Shout out to you guys on Rumble as well. I see Esther G13 and Robbie over there double dipping. Good to see you both. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hit that thumbs up button over on Rumble as you file on in and share that link around. And of course, pill.net, the exclusive and only place to watch hour number 2 of today and every day's broadcast here in the comfy bunker. Let's see who's all chilling with us over on Pilled today. And it looks like people are all out and about doing some things, as it's a bit of a smaller crowd to kick off a Friday show, which is all right. I hope you guys are out there enjoying the sunshine. Lightsphere Lance in there first. D Richard, good to see you. Due diligence, Floyd, how we doing, sir? Thank you for the cookie. A fajita Friday, triple stuffed with all the fixins. Cookie, yes, sir. Sounds fantastic. Patriot 714, welcome. Space Cookie, Kang Chris in the house. R Harrell, D Patriot 1776. Say hi to D Lurker for us. What's up, Delia? I hope you're well. Barb Robbins out there. Welcome, welcome. We got Range Pony and Pip's mom checking in from across the pond over in Wales, UK. Great to see you, Pip. Good afternoon, Mr. Gerardo, Sig Dragon Slayer. Always good to see you. Cynthia, welcome. Norm, Hang 10, Alien Surfer, hanging out with us today as well. Good to see you, Norm. Chops, ITMC, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I see Incorruptible Guardian out there. And hey, what's up, Kevin? How you doing? It's a good show yesterday. Yeah, it's always a good show when you got Zach and Frank hanging out, man. Those two are the best. And I hope you're having an awesome Friday, Kevin. Good to see you. And shout out and much love to the entire No Prisoners podcast fam. Those guys are amazing. I was lurking in on your show for a little bit today, about 20 minutes or so. I couldn't stay too long, but as always, you guys are crushing it. Thirst for Knowledge, Fazic, Glenna Riggleman, Tweety52. What's up, guys? Good to see you all. PQuest, thank you so much for the cookie and welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Jim. What's up, Jim? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're having a great day. Slow start. I think everyone's still over with Pinata right now, is my guess. Yeah. Our whole crew is still finishing up with him. So now we do this thing where we stare awkwardly at each other until 4 o'clock because I've run through all of our peeps. Hey, what's up, Kaiman? Checking in from South Africa. Good to see you, man. Molan Labe, what's up? Hope you're having an awesome day. Oh, there's Oil Man. How you been, Oil Man? Great to see you. Don Ritchie, welcome. Good to see you. If you're lurking out there, jump in the chat. Don't leave me hanging. All the lurkers to pop in right now and make yourselves seen. Give me something to do here for 2 minutes until we get to 4 o'clock. What's up, Schenker, too? Hope you're having a good Friday. Staying cool out there. Hope you're all staying cool. Make sure you guys hit that red pill button and repost the show as we get started here. Super important. Pinata sent me, says Spirit 554. Awesome. That means he's wrapping up. Hopefully he'll be joining me because TN Homesteader just texted me and told me he needs to take the evening off today. So it'll probably just be Pinata and I. Scott, Woke Societies. What's up, Scott? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're having an awesome day, my friend. Judy the Lady Pug, thank you for the cookie. I appreciate that. Team Visine says happy Friday from a working lurker. Shout out and much love to all of our lurkers. Take a break from lurking, take a break from working, pop in the chat and say hello. I promise we won't bite. Just want to see who's all out there watching Patriot Drummer, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Laura Y, repping the 4, 1, 2. Let's go, Laura. Love seeing my Pittsburgh Patriots popping in. Always makes me so happy to see the Western PA crew representing 412 Productions. Well, let's see. Should I try and get Pixels up here? I think he just texted me. Let me see if we get Pixels on the show today. We'll see. We'll see if he pops in, maybe for the second half. He might be busy prepping his show. Dude works so hard. Getting everything together. What's up, Kyrez? He says, fine. Yeah, I know you guys are out there lurking in the background, being all bashful and shit, not coming in the chat. You got to jump in, at least say hi to me, right? Because after all, this has gone from a broadcast, a big show, to a comfy little community. We don't get the numbers we used to. What's up, Stacks? Thank you for the shades. Dave75, great to see you. CK Whitehorse 180, Filter Dog 1, Biatch. Hey, what's up, Dale Bercier? How's life up there in North Dakota? Flawless in USA. Yeah, now everyone's rolling by. Now that we're past time, now that it's 4:01, everyone wants to pop in and say hello. I see how it is. Wisconsin on, Faithful Mom, good to see you guys. Zorton PR, thank you so much for the can. Good afternoon and happy Friday to you as well. There's Roy Stones and Bones over on the West Coast. Iceberg, Daikon of Truth, KC Powwow, Target Driver, Filter Dog, thank you for the can. Cheers, my friend. Great to see you. Patriot Bro, welcome. See, this is how it goes, is everyone's out pinatas. They wait until I need to start the intro, and then they all pile in and make me feel bad that I can't say hi to everybody because I got to start the show. So I go from awkwardly staring at you guys, waiting for more people to pop in, to being overwhelmed and late to kick things off. You see what you all do to me? That's all right. Arch Inquisitor, Valhal, good to see you guys. Cap1Q, always a pleasure. Mr. TZO, thank you for the can. Mad Joker, welcome. Always in Texas, welcome. Appreciate you all so much. Bubbles Up, good to see you. Trump Red Pill 1, Rig Boots, Mix Picks, I love you all. I got to start now, so if I didn't get to you, well, sorry about that. We'll get you next time, but we will be right back.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. Be addicted to M7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all. I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall. We're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong, stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production. Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adult hero is the power that's controlling the fight. With all the patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons, don't know they're confined. They're just slaves in the system till the roles are assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight, but I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America and punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, replacing with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only incentivized to start lacing our boots. These demons all weaponized. Now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the roof and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess. They want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adol Nero.
All right, let's get this Friday going. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for being here, wrapping up the week with us on 412 Productions. It is June 21st, the first official day of summer, and man, it is hot out. I think it's like 93 plus degrees. It's sunny here in Pittsburgh. I'm loving it. I'm loving the heat. I'm loving the sunshine, and I'm loving being here with all of you guys on this Friday afternoon. My name is Adol Nero. Riding shotgun with me today is Mr. Drunk Pinata. Tian Homesteader is taking the day off. He's got some stuff going on, some friends visiting the homestead, so he's going to be entertaining and not able to join us, but Pinata and I will hold it down for the next, well, Pinata is going to be here till 5:30. I'll probably hang out a bit longer, but anyway, we're going to have a fun little end to the week here. Drunk Pinata, how's your Friday going, man?
Pretty good, but I think it's pretty careless of you to talk about that as being, sunshine and being hot. It is deadly climate change, and you know it, sir.
Oh, yes, my bad, yeah.
Did I worry you for a second? Did you think, oh my God, Drunk Pinata has flipped on me? What's going on?
Yeah.
No. Sorry.
The climate emergency. Yeah, it's a climate emergency.
How dare you, Adol? How dare you?
Yeah, the three rivers are drying up as we speak. What a joke. What an absolute joke. But yeah, that's what they'll try to sell us on.
Oh yeah. It's
never been 90 degrees in June before, never in the history of planet Earth.
Nope. I mean, these people, if they ever go to Texas, they'll be like, God help us, the climate change propaganda will be exponential even more than it already is. I mean, they just don't even realize it happens to be hot, and people usually call that weather. But unless they can find me a climate model that actually predicts something, they can shove it up their ass, because it's been wrong every single time, because they're using flawed data. And look, I'm a scientist, like for real. Like my profession is being a scientist in something, and I'm open to interpretation, or open to be persuaded. But I understand modeling. I understand bad modeling. I understand data, and you understand data. If they are using flawed data, you're going to have bullshit models. We even saw that with COVID. Their COVID models were bullshit because they had all these different assumptions that they knew shouldn't have been part of it. Remember the Lancet model from COVID? How they had to retract everything?
Yeah.
I mean, every single climate model has basically been like that, except it just hasn't been publicized like that because they don't want to bring up those failures.
I'll tell you what, Pinata, when all of the political elite and propagandists that are pushing climate change on us stop driving around in giant gas guzzling SUVs, flying in private jets, and buying beachfront property on the ocean below sea level, then maybe I'll start to take what they say seriously. But as long as they're doing all those things, especially when all the big money will continue to invest in the
Mm-hmm.
side properties
The insurance markets, insurance, everything.
yeah. So when all of that stops happening, then they can sit there and pander to me about how, my Ram 1500 is destroying the world. But until then, they can take their nonsense and shove it up their ass, because there's absolutely no evidence that supports anything at all. And what really pisses me off about it too is they claim like we're so insensitive to the environment, when really that's not the case. I think all of us want clean air, clean water, clean food, but these people are using this as a way of redistributing wealth, taxing and controlling people. It's not about protecting the environment. If it was about protecting the environment, they wouldn't be focusing on strip mining the land for car batteries, selling these car batteries that end up in landfills after they go bad in 5 years. They wouldn't be destroying the soil in the farmlands with Monsanto chemicals and all this stuff, making GMO foods, introducing all these dangerous pathogens through gain of function. I mean, they're doing so much to destroy the environment and the public health, and then they sit there and complain about what you drive or how much you breathe, or carbon in the air. Like, that's the problem. These people are so full of shit. It's such a bait and switch nonsense narrative. And again, what's the remedy here? To tax you more, track
Yep.
you more, and control your movements, your basic freedoms and liberties, and limit your ability to be prosperous, and your liberty, basically. It's so obvious what this is all about.
Mhm. Yes, whenever the solution is to throw money at something and not actually do something proactive, like fit like in the physical environment, then yeah, it's a scam every single time.
100%.
So let's see. Let me share with you one of the. It's the way the left operates. They are the ones who are racist, right? They are the ones who project that, right? Before we get to that clip, though, I wanted to share with you guys. We're doing some upgrades over there at Thinking Logically. So we have gotten rid of the old logo, and we're going with a little bit more of this kind of a transparent thing here, which I think kind of works out pretty good. So we got this going on here,
Ooh.
changing things up a little bit. I like this particular font, so we kind of been changing. I've been wanting to change it for a while, and so there you go. We got that going on. So let's see what else we got. So here's this clip. They always tell us exactly who they are, and through their own words. All right, today, hello.
From what you know of the case, drawing upon your experience, what's your, it's understand that it's a guess and every case is different, but what should we expect in terms of a sentencing?
I actually am going to have to disagree with Dave here. I think there's a possibility that Trump gets some form of incarceration. Now, that incarceration, because of some of the logistical issues, could come in the form of something like a house arrest and not in a traditional incarceratory setting. But I think given the lack of remorse, there are a number of...
remorse for who?
Violations of the gag order that have
Against
not been
who?
brought to Judge Merchan's attention, that happened on Journalist Watch during the trial. The district attorney's office may have made the decision it wasn't worth it at that stage to bring it to Merchan's attention. They wanted to see the trial through. They wanted it completed. They wanted a verdict. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to go to him during sentencing and say, look at all these other things that he did. Look at all these other things that he said. He doesn't take your words seriously. Nothing short of incarceration will be enough to get this guy to stop.
Lisa, you were in there and you watched this every step of the way and covered every detail for us. And I'm just curious, does Donald Trump, defendant, talk like someone who wants to avoid jail time? I'm just curious if he thinks it would even be politically helpful.
I think he thinks it might be politically helpful. I mean, certainly, Mika, the reporting has been that he wants to avoid jail at all costs, that he is very much scared of anything approaching incarceration. But from a political perspective, he believes that's political gold for him. If you look at the messaging, both during the trial and thereafter, he is definitely trying to rile up his base with the possibility of some form of term of incarceration. And in terms of...
No, you are. I mean, I don't know. We can talk about this after this clip, but uh, do you think they're trying to get people to do something? Because we got James, we got Comey, and there's other people that are predicting that there's going to be something that will keep people from voting MAGA because they're going to be thinking about January 6th. So they're going to be thinking about MAGA terrorism, like, or maybe some false flag or some bullshit. But I don't know what we'll talk about at the end of this. But I just wonder what your opinion is. We got on the other side of this. Do you think they're purposely still trying to rile us up, and they would just sentence them to something just to try to pull some bullshit off?
How he's talking, he is continuing to push a narrative that, as I've written and others have, is extraordinarily dangerous, tying the current president to the prosecution in Manhattan by somehow alleging that the Biden administration, and specifically the Department of Justice, was pulling Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's strings. How? Through a career civil litigator named Matthew Colangelo, who was part of the DA's
Oh, so you do know his name.
team, but certainly not its head. For a variety of reasons, that narrative makes no sense. It is factually false, and it's also dangerously and perniciously racist because it assumes that DA Alvin Bragg, who is black, could not have executed this prosecution on his own without the supervision of a bunch of white elders.
No, that's what racists think. The racists interject that as the reasoning. So I thought you'd like that because that's what the leftists do. It's the same thing. Hey, he doesn't know what a computer is. So obviously they had to have the white elders come in and tell them what the computer was, right?
Wow.
It's the same type of thing. But as far as them trying to say that it's dangerous also for them to try to tie this into the Biden administration by sending Colangelo down there, which, look, obviously that's one of the first times I've actually heard them actually admit that he even say his name, especially with that group.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do you think about them as far as they're trying to rile people up? Is this their last hurrah in order because they know these other trials aren't going to produce anything for them to produce a narrative for people to get mad about other than this? So is this their last gasp at trying to get people to act out?
I think that they try to incite violence on both sides. I think these people thrive in chaos, and I think that that's absolutely what they're trying to do. They want to incite violence on the left. They'll justify it. They won't cover it fairly. I'll get into some stories about how that's handled. But they try to do that on the left because they want a reaction from the right, or just straight up inspired on the right. But yeah, absolutely, they want someone in a MAGA hat doing something stupid, so that they could run that story ad nauseum between now and November 5th. They want people to fear anyone that supports Donald Trump. They want him. They want everyone that supports Donald Trump seen as a potential domestic terrorist in one way or another, and they do need some kind of violent event to sell that, because the January 6th narrative is falling apart at the seams. So yeah, I would say that there's definitely a chance that they might try to incarcerate him to incite that, or if not, then you might see it the other way, where they try to incite their own side, hoping that you get kind of like a Kyle Rittenhouse situation, only that goes differently from a an outcome perspective in a trial or whatnot, or even if you don't get to the trial by the election. I think they want that chaos, because then they can spin the chaos to their favor using their propaganda and word magic and whatever. So I think in general, these people just want chaos, they want violence, because they thrive in that. And when there's that fear and distrust, then they can kind of really leverage that against the way people think about things. So I don't think it's just versus the right, but I think they want to use it to turn people against the right. If that makes sense.
Right. I mean, do you think would be anything organically, or do you think it'd be 100% contrived if they tried to pull something off after sentencing?
Uh,
I'm leaning towards there'd be nothing organic. I think you'd see the same response, just an outpouring of donations to Trump's campaign. You wouldn't see, and a bunch of stuff posted online about their dismay about it. But I don't think you're going to see like actionable threats or anything like that. I think, as far as I understand, there was only one stemming from the the verdict, the convicted verdict, from what I've seen, one that was actionable.
I don't know which one that one. What did you see?
It was, I'll pull it up. We can do it on this side of that, on the other side of ads, if you want. But just one last thing, I figured you get a kick out of today's show card. Let it out. Let it all out. There you go.
Yeah. As far as it being organic, I don't know. I mean, I won't sit here and pretend like there aren't any unhinged Trump supporters out there. I'm sure there are, and I hope that nobody does something stupid, but from everything we've seen, Pinata, it's hard to assume anything's organic anymore completely. We've been so riddled with false flags and contrived narratives and hoaxes and whatnot that at least at first glance, I think it's going to be almost impossible to convince any of us that anything is organic, completely organic. So I don't know. I like I said, I hope people keep a cool and level head and don't do anything stupid. Violence and upheaval and whatnot's the last thing I want to see. But who knows? Who knows what'll happen if they incarcerate Donald Trump? That's a Rubicon that once it's crossed, I just have no idea what's going to happen, how either side's going to react, or if he gets immunity, on the other side of all of this, because I think on Wednesday next week we're going to find out about that. So it's going to be one of those things where they're going to try to, I think, incite either side to get wild, and then again find a way to, through that chaos and destruction, spin a narrative that favors their desired outcome. So we'll see. We'll see how successful they are with it, but these people have been doing it for a while. I actually have a clip too that will kind of, show a bunch, like a montage of things that they've said in the past, trying to get people to react and do stupid things. So let's take care of sponsors, and we'll get to some of that stuff here. Our first and only sponsor today is Earth Garden Botanicals, earthgardenbotanicals.com. Go check it out. A wonderful company up in Montana, run by our friend Jolene, who's an herbalist and a health coach. She makes these these amazing wellness products up there. Products like the pine needle extract. I've been using this daily lately, and it's fantastic. It's really good for detoxing. They have a white pine needle tea, a sunshine and pine needle tea as well. Really good for detoxing the body. Also, if you want to sip on it as a tea or just get the concentrate version right to the source, either way works. Check out the CBD oil and hemp products. All the organics are locally. Jesus, I'm a mess today. All the ingredients are locally and organically grown on small Montana farms. The CBD oil tinctures taste amazing. Flavors like orange ginger, bergamot, huckleberry, cherry, cinnamon bliss, peppermint. Even the unflavored is really, really good because the product is so clean and pure. Check out CBD oil for pets, your Delta 8 or nighttime gummies for a good night's sleep. The Arnica salve, topical cream for your sore joints and muscles, with or without CBD infused. Really awesome product as well. There's fire cider to clear your sinuses if you're feeling stuffed up from the allergy season. This can offer some quick relief. Elderberry tonic will boost your immune system. There's elderberry tea as well, and then a couple other tea blends for all you tea drinkers out there. And then the critter juice, all natural insect repellent. This stuff works better than anything you'll find in the drugstore. It doesn't smell bad. It smells good actually, and it doesn't like feel oily on your skin. Once you apply it, you wait like 2 minutes and you forget you're even wearing it, outside of the fact that you're not getting bit up. There's also a critter juice for dogs and cats as well, so if you want to protect your fur babies from the insects, you can get the pet version too. Go to earthgardenbotanicals.com for all these amazing products. Use promo code 412 at checkout for 10% off your order. And yeah, just say hi to Jolene for her. She loves you guys. She loves this community. She's been such a wonderful sponsor for such a long time now. And really, I think our only sponsor we have left on this show at this point, because I think Integral Networks is taking a break after this month. And I told you guys what was going on with Harold and Laura at Diamond Soapco. So again, prayers up for them. Please pray for Laura. We love her so much, and she needs all the prayers in the world right now. So we'll see what happens there. But please go support earthgardenbotanicals.com. Again, promo code 412 at checkout. All right, I want to say some thank yous here too, because there's been quite a bit of support flowing in here in the early part of the show, and I want to make sure we get to it. Filter Dog, Mr. TZI, I said thank you for those cans. Oil Man hooked us up with the ships. It's happy Friday, brother. Oil Man, thank you so much. I really appreciate the love, man. That's a super generous way to kick off the show. Timberjet says Washington State, not the commie side. Right on, Timberjet. Thank you for the cookie. Boys Blanc says I'm okay. Just got the live studio audience settled down. Appreciate you. Boys Blanc, if you guys don't know, runs our HR department, public relations. Really hard worker in the background there. Says we just got our critters used to sell retail. Margins are excellent. My fellow business owners, I love that, Boys Blanc. I love seeing that. Very cool. Richard Lyles, thank you for the can as well. And yeah, we're off to a good start. Yeah, Oil Man, it's really sad for sure. Hopefully all will end well there and they'll get back on their feet. But for now, all we could do is just pray. And if there's any other kind of support we could offer them, or if there's anything else they're doing to garner support, we'll definitely promote that and see what we could do to help out here on the channel. But I'll have to reach out to Harold here over the weekend and get an update and see what's going on. So I haven't heard much since he originally messaged me. But yeah, that's got to be tough. All right. So you just dropped something in the chat here, Pinata.
I figured it might go with, if you're going to pull up anything Gateway pointed about this,
America
First Legal.
I had something about this too. So all right,
that's just supplemental, so you can go to their comment on the subject.
Okay.
It's a summary, because you can go over the Twitter thread, but I think that whatever that post that they made on their site is a little bit more concise.
All right, so we'll take a look at this here. So exclusive new docs from disbanded DHS deep state group reveal the Biden admin views Trump supporters as domestic terrorism threats. So today, America First Legal is releasing the second tranche of internal files from the Homeland Intelligence Experts Group obtained exclusively through AFL's litigation with Ambassador Rick Grinnell against the Biden Department of Homeland Security. This is the second installment of #Deep State Diaries, a multi-part series released including newly obtained documents. Yesterday, AFL released documents showing how the deep state's DHS Intel Group proposed expanding DHS's reach into local communities in an ambiguous and non-threatening way, and contemplating ways to get teachers and mothers to report their children. Today's installment exposes how the Biden administration classifies someone as a person likely to commit domestic violent extremist attacks, particularly those who support President Trump, are in the military or are religious. Under the Brennan-Clapper Committee's approach to national security, when all else fails, Department of Homeland Security should use being, quote, in the military or religious to profile people and tag them as having indicators of extremist and terrorism as a pretext to allow the Department of Homeland Security to spy on them. According to the group, we should be more worried about these. If you ask researchers to dive into indicators of extremism and terrorism, they might indicate, okay, I just read that basically. The group went on to discuss how most of the domestic terrorism threat now comes from supporters of the former president. That's unbelievable. There's a political backdrop to all of this. It seems most of the domestic terrorism threat comes from the former president. It's not like you want a political advantage, but people have attacked the government and its institutions for the last 6 years.
And that's called criticism, but okay.
Yeah. So yeah, if you criticize the bureaucracy, if you criticize the corruption, if you look into things, question the narrative, then you are now on the list. So that's pretty amazing, Pinata. I mean, this republic is really not doing well when it comes to um maintaining its basic fundamental values that it was founded upon. I mean, this is scary stuff. They're constantly looking for ways to disarm us, to silence us, intimidate us. In this case, track us and remove our privacy, profile us to justify, you know, doing whatever they want. Essentially, I mean, you think about the Patriot Act, and they call you a terrorist. Now they can arrest you, detain you without charging you, with no trial, indefinitely, in the name of, hey, we think you're a terrorist. That's just, so they put all these things in place slowly over the years, and they say it's all there. You look at like the FISA courts as well, to go after the bad guys, keep the foreign terrorists from hurting our country the way it happened 9/11, 2001. We need these tools in place to protect you. And they add and they add and they add, and they put them in place, and they get you to go along with it. They manufacture the consent for it, through false flags and fear. And then when they've got it all where they want it, and they start then taking liberties in other places that they have no business doing so. And then when you criticize, call it out, expose it, well, they have all these tools in place now to weaponize all these things that they've created against their own people, in a way to shield their corrupt, unethical, immoral, and illegal actions, and destroy anybody who dares stand up to them for doing it. And we're unfortunately starting to see the fruits of their labor over the past 20 years, especially, but it's gone back longer than that. So quite frightening, Pinata.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. Going back to what I was saying about, the media, the left, just wanting things to destabilize in general. I've got this 5-minute clip here. There's this woman here. I don't know who she is. I saw this literally right before the show. So she's making a bit of a different point, but there's a montage mixed in here that also kind of adds to the point I was making about how these people just want chaos, whether it's riling up a Trump supporter, trying to get them to do something stupid to create a narrative, or again, even if it's riling up their own side, knowing that they can create that chaos, get a reaction from the right. They can spin these situations however they want through the media, and paint whoever they want as the heroes versus the bad guys. So again, they thrive in chaos because they know that they can create fear and hatred from it. And when you get someone to fear and hate things, you can easily manipulate them. So take a listen.
I want to make sure that I got this right, because I feel like you guys just aren't getting the bigger picture. The whole presidential immunity when it comes to Donald Trump. Donald Trump has no presidential immunity because he incited an insurrection and he used violent rhetoric. Okay, so he has no presidential immunity, he gets charged. What does that mean? That means that the people who were never president and were saying hateful rhetoric and hateful shit on the news, be they congressman or a journalist, also gets to be tried for their hateful rhetoric, right? People like this?
Don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him. punch some people in the face.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Right-wing Americans will say it's all about keeping America's independent and safe. If you want to fight against the country, you need an F-15. You need something a little more than a gun. No, I'm not joking. Think about this. Think about the rationale we use. That's you.
Now, let's be clear here. You saw Joe Biden in there calling for violence. You saw Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi. You saw news journalists calling for violence. We don't have free speech in this country anymore, unless it's the Democrat narrative, because I guarantee you, well, it's not the same as going to be in my comments, because it is. You can watch Donald Trump's whole entire speech in its entirety on his X account. It's still up there. To this day, it's still up. You can't hide it. You can't try to flip it and switch it to fit your fucking narrative. It's there. All anybody has to do is watch the thing in its entirety, not the snippets that you take out to paint him as some evil, terrible, dictator, horrible, fascist person. Sorry, it doesn't work with those of us that have critical thinking skills. We watch the thing in its entirety. Everything. But back to the presidential immunity. If Donald Trump has no presidential immunity simply for saying something that someone doesn't agree with because of their political beliefs, then that means that way crazier shit, like, I don't know, Obama leaving soldiers to die in Benghazi, gets to be prosecuted and tried. People like, I don't know, George Bush, who sent millions of Americans over to die in Afghanistan and Iraq over weapons of mass destruction, which didn't fucking exist, and it was actually over oil, gets to be charged and tried. That also means that Bill Clinton, who had a sex scandal with Monica Lewinsky, gets to be tried and prosecuted. That also means that your precious, precious Joe Biden gets to be charged and tried for every single death at the hands of these illegal immigrants because of his failed border policies. And you are not going to sit there and argue with me on that. This man single-handedly cut down every policy that Donald Trump had to keep this country safe and keep our borders secure. His first day in, cut everything and invited everybody to come on in there, telling them, oh, we'll help you pay for your American dream at the expense of U.S. taxpayer dollars. All of those deaths are on Joe Biden's hands, which means once he gets out of office, he can be tried because, well, presidential immunity doesn't exist, right? You don't get to have one side of the coin. It's both sides. So either there is presidential immunity or there isn't. You don't get to pick and choose just because you've been told to hate this man. Wake the fuck up.
So she was making a larger point than what I was making, but within that, again, there's a montage of everything from politicians on the left to TV personalities, news anchors, and whatnot, trying to rile people up and incite violence on either side. So I like I said, I think that's just what they want. They want the chaos. They want the civil unrest, pinata. I don't think they care which side it comes from, because I think they feel confident that they can then sell to the American people whose fault that is, regardless of what we actually see and hear with our own eyes and ears.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely laying a permission structure for violence on their side. I think more than this, than on the right. It's especially if you thought the whole illegitimate president thing was a big thing from the Russia shit, wait until this year when we take back the White House. It's going to be hilarious to see them. For me, It's going to be the alternative slate of electors thing. I'm going to love how so quickly they're going to be like, yeah, you can totally go against the slate of electors. And they'll object to it on January 6th. And there'll be protests on January 6th. It will be worse than whatever happened in 2021. And I don't wish ill will physically on anybody, but as far as optically, they deserve everything that's coming for them if we can manage to get through November victorious.
So I saw you post this thing with Gerd Graphics. Did they get their account taken down or something?
I guess they got their main account hacked, and it's been haven't been able. So I guess he was trying to boost that, which is good because he's got a bigger account. So that's good. He's gonna get some eyes on it. So
that's crazy.
So I just put it in the chat just to make sure, see if anyone else could just go ahead and retweet it, just get it in the algorithm so that they can see it.
Yeah, that's, man, they can't catch a break. Poor Ben and Tina, I tell you. All right. Let's see here. So you mentioned the alternative slate of electors because you think Joe Biden's not going to accept the results of the election. Is that what you're getting at there?
Mm-hmm.
So there was this here in the Gateway Pundit. I didn't have a chance to read the shit. Literally, I saw it right before I went live. But the title of the article is Biden's attorney preparing to challenge the 2024 election. So right on cue. Joe Biden's personal attorney, Bob Bauer, told Politico that he is preparing to challenge the 2024 election results. Quote,
That's friggin' hilarious. They just recently ran a whole smear campaign against them, the RNC positioning people to challenge election results. It's like they have the whole thing with Roger Stone saying, yeah, last time around with Ronald McDaniel, we didn't have this kind of thing in place. This year, we do have this in place. And they're like, oh my God, can you believe he's saying that they're going to challenge the election? Everyone does that. It's just the only reason why the Democrats were getting away with it is because we weren't challenging them. Literally, they weren't challenging them. And so, of course, it's okay when they do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're righteous and justified when they do it, but when we do it, we're election denying, political terrorists looking to destroy the very foundations of our democracy, as they breathlessly say into the microphone. All right, so we're seeing and have seen election officials say, if I'm not satisfied with the outcome here, I may not certify, I'll just block it. And you saw that play out very dramatically in Michigan in 2020. That's something that we might see more of this time around, Bob Bauer told Politico. In 2020, President Trump won more votes than any sitting president in U.S. history. Trump increased his total vote totals by 12 million votes in 2020 over his initial win in 2016. Biden won the fewest number of counties in the 2020 election by any alleged winner in history, winning only 16% of U.S. Counties. The Democrat machine produced 81 million ballots in 2020, and since nothing has changed in the last 4 years, they'll do it again. Joe Biden hid in his Delaware basement, and the few times he ventured out, he couldn't draw a crowd. A dozen or so people, mostly media, showed up to see old dementia patient mumble through remarks. You guys remember the circles here, and the image of the circles here, the Jeep dealership. You guys know the Democrat in key swing states like Michigan and Wisconsin produced ballots in the dead of night, and Biden's attorneys are ready to destroy any election official who questions the obvious fraud.
How do you fill out a ballot mostly?
What's that?
How do you fill a ballot in mostly in most places?
Well, I know I can only speak to
what do you do next to the person's name?
What do you do next? You fill in the bubble.
Mm-hmm. Now go back to that image up there about. I'm starting to think that this was them telling everybody, "Hey, don't worry, we're not campaigning because we're going to do the thing where we fill in the circles."
Ah, interesting.
Fill in the bubbles.
Yeah, that's interesting. Interesting imagery there. Who knows? Some kind of comms, perhaps. Yeah. So Trump lawyers who legally challenged the fraudulent election results in Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Georgia, and Nevada have been indicted. Only lawyers for Democrats are allowed to challenge elections. So yeah, not a whole lot of detail there, but
Did you see the other news from today?
What's that?
They dismissed the Nevada alternative slate of electors case because of lack of jurisdiction, because it is a federal matter, not a state matter.
How about that?
Which is exactly why all of them should be dismissed, because if you recall, almost everything that was charged in each of those different states, they called it the fabrication or a forgery of or uttering, instrument, right? Uttering something, whatever, and or criminal uttering in a creation of an instrument of fraud. But none of that was tied to actual election, unless they said, oh, well, in the RICO case in Georgia, they said, oh, well, they harassed this other person, this election clerk. So therefore, we're going to roll that in. Therefore, this is all election related, according to law. But almost all of them didn't do that. Arizona tried to do that. They tried to rope it in. But again, it was the same kind of thing where they said they were trying to corrupt an official as opposed to, but the actual fraud itself was just literally, they're saying this is fraud. But it already has legal precedent as far as its creation. It's not a false thing. They knew it at the time, and everyone understood that that's what it was. It was supposed to be an alternative slate of electors if their court cases went the way they did, the way they hoped. They did not, and therefore it rendered them all moot. But yet somehow all of these different indictments in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Arizona, they somehow say that they were still trying to say that they were valid, include up even on the 6th. But that wasn't the case. They were just most of what they were calling for on the 6th, they weren't saying you should choose these. They were, or that we're going to argue against Biden's in favor of Trump's. It was, we're objecting to these because we feel we still have work to do. We still have an investigation to do. There's still ongoing matters. And we object because just in general, the Biden ones in particular should not have been certified due to not following the state legislature's decisions on how the elections in those particular states should be handled according to the Constitution. So that's what they were trying to do. There was no hey, we're going to use these. I mean, that's the made up nonsense that Elie Mystal tried to say. I think he tried to say that Trump wanted the National Guard in order for them to guard the building, for them to go in and swap out the physical papers of the alternative slates of electors to confuse Mike Pence. I'm pretty sure that's almost verbatim what Elie Mystal has said previously.
Yeah, no, there's literally a constitutional process where if you have a House of Representative, a House rep, and a senator both object to the same state, you debate it, and then the vice president used to, not anymore because they passed a new law, used to then have the authority to kick it back to the state legislature, the election back to the state legislatures, and have them vote, do an investigation and vote as to who wins their state individually.
Yep.
And that's Donald Trump would have won 26 to 24 based on party lines in those states, assuming that, and it's a big assumption, but that the Republican Party would band together and not allow this nonsense to go forward. So there was 100% constitutional and legal. They used the events of January 6th to make it seem like there was a violent attack, like you said, where they were trying to go in there and force the other electors to be used, and not the ones at the force the alternative set of electors in through violence and physical force, refusing a peaceful transfer of power or whatever. And that's just a completely incorrect narrative. What you had was a bunch of what I think were paid agitators going there to infiltrate what was otherwise a peaceful event to stop the legal process from happening. Donald Trump supporters and Donald Trump himself had absolutely nothing to gain by a bunch of idiots running into the Capitol building. Had absolutely nothing to gain by that whatsoever. There was no scenario in which that was going to end with Donald Trump getting 4 more years in office, or the next 4 years in office. There was no scenario whatsoever in which that was going to happen. Their best bet was to allow those debates to go on in front of the American people, that day unimpeded. So the only people that benefited from that was everybody who wanted to stop that evidence from being exposed, everybody who wanted to paint the America First movement as violent, unhinged, and insurrectionist, so to speak. That those are the people that benefited. So when you ask yourself who benefits, from this, it certainly was not the America First movement, the MAGA movement, or Donald Trump himself. But again, they show those few select clips of the event, and then they use their word magic, saying insurrection, 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 and they craft this completely absurd narrative around it. But again, in reality, the best thing that could have happened for Donald Trump and the MAGA movement that day, if you wanted to see another 4 years, and I honestly don't think that Donald Trump winning the last election would be the best thing for this republic, because who has red-pilled more people than Joe Biden over the past 3.5 years? I think Joe Biden getting into office is the biggest, blessing in disguise this republic may ever see. I think that Joe Biden is a walking, living, breathing red pill, waking up the Black community, waking up Hispanics, waking up young people. Hell, I've got an article here about even women starting to dislike Joe Biden, and that's like the one final pillar that needs to fall. If you get women, Hispanic women, Black women, and some white women to start voting against Joe Biden as well, it's over, because they're really the only ones holding him up still at this point, holding up the Democrat agenda at this point, is the female vote. So once they lose that, it's over. But that was never going to happen with 4 more years of Donald Trump. They would have gotten another 4 more years of Donald Trump. It would have been another 4-year struggle session. Things have been better than they are now for 4 years. But when you look at the bigger picture, when you zoom out, when you look at where the country is, 30 years from now, I don't think the trajectory would have changed all that much. Now there's an opportunity for paradigm shifting changes, true opportunity to kind of gut the bureaucracy, the federal bureaucracy, return the country closer to the constitutional republic it's supposed to be, and have a true mandate to do it from the people. This is an opportunity to really, fraud withstanding, win a massive electoral victory, and really push the country into a much, much better space. So yeah.
And I think, just so I remember what I've relayed to you as far as that, have I talked to you previously about Liz Cheney being on that conference phone call before January 6th?
I don't remember, to be honest.
So she was on a conference phone call with the Republicans, and she understood, and she had relayed this information on Maddow when she was selling her book. This was about 6 months ago. And she said, I heard what they were going to do, and I went immediately. And she said she went to Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. And what do you think they talked about? The Sergeant of Arms issues, and then go down the list, go down to January 6th, because she understood, because on that call, she learned that they had enough senators to go past the speech and debate clause.
Yeah.
And so because of that, and they already had the senators lined up, they knew that there was going to be debated and there was going to be a problem. Why? Because at the very least, the American public would have learned that there was actual objections to the certification, not just the typical, gabbling down like we saw Joe Biden do in 2017 for Trump, like for all the same people on the committee really objecting to certification of Trump's votes, electoral college votes. So it's a combination of that, Milley, then the memo with McCarthy, and not that McCarthy, different McCarthy and Walker, the people involved with the security through the Pentagon and the U.S. Army, and that memo that changed things that we had learned from the U.S. from the D.C. National Guard whistleblowers. So when you take the information that Cheney and others learned, and the fact that Cheney was pretty much the person like leading this thing, and who didn't and purposely did not interview all of the people that were responsible or at least involved in the actual security failure and the intel failure, and all those same people are involved. It's like to me, it tells that we've been doing this long enough to see the pattern and recognize the patterns in these things. And so whatever they're not looking at, and whatever ultimately they completely just freak out over, is what they fear coming out. And so and again, they always tell us at some point or other they feel comfortable enough, because they haven't been, to use their phrase, held accountable. Right. So they feel the need to do it. And this is why I started the show that I do, right? It's to because they're telling us exactly what they're planning to do. I mean, at some point I just thought, they're not going to do that. Oh no, they're not going to go that far. They're not going to actually drop these charges. They're not going to file indictments with these charges. Like, they're just going to keep this over his head. And then every time that I think they're not going to go there, they keep going there. And so but then again, I'm not like them. I'm a nice person with morals and empathy.
Yeah. I mean, there's no line they won't cross, and that's really the one big advantage they have over us, is they don't care. They will burn it all down, whereas we're trying to preserve something. We do have lines that we won't cross. That is the main difference for sure. All right, we are at 4:55, so that means it is time to take a quick break and then come back and go exclusively to our home on pill.net for hour number 2. I hope you guys will come and join us over there. I'll put the link to the stream in the Rumble chat. It's already in the Rumble video description as well. Throw it over on DLive. So just click that link. It'll bring you right over to pill.net to continue watching the stream. If you can't get to that link for any reason, just go to pill.net and search for us, 412 Productions. There's live channels on the thumbnails on top of the screen on mobile. On the left-hand side, if you're on desktop, it makes it really easy to find us over there. So I hope you guys will come and continue hanging out. We got lots to talk about, more on this like 2-tier justice system situation. We were talking about the unrest and how these things are handled and spun and whatnot. I've got, an interesting article to talk about that. We got some interesting, poll numbers. I mentioned the women thing, some fundraising updates that I think are kind of interesting, a quick video clip on polls as well. And then I've got maybe a little something on the debate coming up. There's also this latest OMG James O'Keefe video on Disney that we might get into at some point. Another kind of undercover reporting thing about replacement theory. Someone from the State Department, a Biden official, basically admitting to that. So we got some undercover reporting stuff we could get to, and a whole bunch of things, really, a whole bunch of things that we could potentially dive into, just depending on timing and where we're going to go today. So come join us for hour number 2. Like I said, lots of good stuff coming up. Pill.net. Find us at 412 Productions. I'm going to play this quick video. We'll be right back on the other side.
Pill.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pill.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family. And if you have any questions at all, please email support@pill.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on pill.net. Free speech lives here.
All right, we are back. Huge thank you to everyone who's going to be joining us over on pill.net from other platforms. You guys know how much it means to me when you do that. Those of you who aren't, no hard feelings. I'll catch you guys maybe tomorrow morning. Tomorrow I'm 50-50 on the Saturday morning chat. If I do it, we'll probably go live at 9 a.m. instead of 10 and shift it early. It might be like last week where I just come on and do a bit of like a music hour to 90 minutes, just play some music and hang out with you guys and chat a bit. We'll do maybe a little something. It's just gonna depend on how much sleep I get, what I end up doing tonight. I really don't know 100% what tonight holds as far as what I'm getting into. So I'm gonna do my best to do some kind of show with you guys tomorrow morning. So keep an eye out for the topic. I'll when I wake up, I'll post it, and hopefully I'll see you guys over there. Otherwise, yeah, come over. We're gonna do another. Pinata's gonna hang out till 5:30. I'll hang out probably a little bit longer than that, but we've got a lot more content here to get to today, and then we'll be back tomorrow. So jump on over to pilled.net. Find us at 412 Productions here for hour number 2. Otherwise, have an awesome weekend, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the next one if you're not gonna come join us in the second hour.